with the champions in America's favorite question and answer game, live from New York City. The Intercollegiate Battle of Brains now in its 6th season. The award-winning General Electric College Bowl. Presenting outstanding varsity scholars throughout America. And brought to you each week by Electric Company. General Electric, makers of world-famous portable home appliances, clocks, health, beauty, and floor care products. Today's contest brings together 4 bright varsity scholars from the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA, and our current champions going for game number 3, the varsity scholars from Ohio Wesleyan University, Delaware, Ohio. And now, the man with the questions, Robert Earl.
Thank you. It's good to have you with us here in the General Electric College Bowl. Let's get started with our game and meet the teams. First, here are the challengers, the varsity scholars from UCLA.
Dave Cross, North Hollywood, California.
Charles Silver, Los Angeles, California.
Joe Goldberg, Van Nuys, California. Art Harris, Los Angeles, California.
That's UCLA. And our current champions, the varsity scholars from Ohio Wesleyan University.
Phil Schaefer, Birmingham, Michigan.
Richard Pep, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Ann Hofstra, Washington, D.C.
Kathy Leshy, Peebles, Ohio.
That's Ohio Wesleyan. All right, you've met the teams. Now we'd like to have you meet the coaches. First, from UCLA, here is Assistant Professor of Urban Land Economics, Dr. Lee Burns. Welcome, sir, all the way from California. And from Ohio Wesleyan, here's Professor of Speech, Ed Robinson. Good luck, gentlemen. As you know, each week the winning school receives a $1,500 scholarship grant from the General Electric Company and returns to defend its title. The runner-up school receives a $500 scholarship grant, and our game begins directly after this message from General Electric. All right, teams, you're both familiar with the rules. Are you ready, UCLA?
Ready.
All set, Ohio Wesleyan?
Ready.
Very well. There's the whistle. To start the game, you're playing for a 25-point bonus question. Here's your first toss-up. Many poets have written sonnets to their fair ladies. For 10 points, who wrote the best-known sonnets to a dark lady?
UCLA, Harris.
Shakespeare.
Yes, Shakespeare, that's right, for 10 points. All right, UCLA. Here's your first bonus question. American presidents have been many things to many people. For 5 points apiece, identify the American president who was a combination of these things: lawyer, history professor, college president, and governor of New Jersey.
Woodrow Wilson.
Yes, that's right, for 5 points. Medical student, Indian fighter, army officer, and 9th president of the United States.
William Henry Harrison.
Yes, it was Harrison. Law student, school teacher, editor, and newspaper publisher.
Johnson.
No, Harding. Sheriff of Erie County, mayor of Buffalo, and governor of New York.
Grover Cleveland.
That's right. Member of the House of Representatives, United States Senator, Minister to Russia, Envoy to Great Britain, and Secretary of State in the Cabinet of President Polk. Your answer?
Buchanan.
Yes, James Buchanan. That's right. I think you're at 4 out of 5 on that one for 20 points. You're playing for a 30-point bonus question now. Here is the toss-up. It is indigenous to North and South Carolina. Its name is Diania muscipula. For 10 points, what is the most unusual characteristic of this plant?
Ohio Wesleyan, Pep.
It catches insects.
Yes, that's right. It is insect trapping, or carnivorous. All right, Ohio Wesleyan. Meetings and partings are frequent in works of literature, and here are some book titles that include the words we say at meeting and parting. 5 points apiece for each title you can supply. The title of a novel by Ernest Hemingway.
Farewell.
Farewell to arms.
Farewell to Arms. The title of a one-act play by William Saroyan. The answer is Hello Out There. A novel by Françoise Sagan.
Bonjour, Tristesse.
Bonjour Tristesse, that's right. A book of poems by Carl Sandburg.
Hello, America. Hello, America.
No, it's Good Morning, America. A novel by James Hilton.
Goodbye, Mr. Chip.
By Mr. Chips. A biography of John Barrymore by Gene Fowler.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night, sweet.
Yes, Good Night, Sweet Prince. That's right. Now I have a 30-pointer waiting. Here is the toss-up. I own a paint manufacturing company. I want to expand my business by what economists call horizontal expansion. For 10 points, what do I do?
Ohio Wesleyan, Leshy.
Build more buildings.
Yes, build more plants to make more paint. That's right, presumably. All right. All right, Ohio Wesleyan. Alexander had quite an empire back in 323 B.C. Today, his empire would include all or part of a number of modern nations. 10 points if you can name 6 of these nations, 20 points if you can name 10 of them, and 30 points if you can name 14. Give me one list of 14, and your captain, Richard Pep, please, will speak for your team.
Greece. Turkey. Lebanon. Israel. Syria. Iraq. Jordan. Iran. Pakistan. Egypt. Saudi Arabia. Kuwait. Afghanistan. Bulgaria. Albania.
That's 14. Now, let me tell you, you have Afghanistan, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Egypt, Greece, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Pakistan, Syria, and Turkey. You had 14 for 30 points. I have a 30-point bonus question waiting now. Here's the toss-up. Listen, and then for 10 points, please name the Greek play from which this excerpt comes. Listen.
You spurred me to speak against my will. Speak! Speak it again!
Ohio Wesleyan, Schaefer.
Oedipus Rex.
Yes, that's right. Oedipus Rex by Sophocles. All right, Ohio Wesleyan. I have here typical examples of the work of 3 famous photographers. For 10 points, please tell me what photographer took this 1907 picture called The Steerage.
Steichen.
No, it's Alfred Stieglitz. Now, what modern British photographer, famous for his photographs of royalty, took this portrait?
Anthony Armstrong Jones.
No, it's Cecil Beaton. It's a portrait of Queen Elizabeth, of course. Finally, what early American...
Brady.
Yes, that's Matthew Brady. All right. I have a 30-pointer waiting now. Here is the toss-up for 10 points. Tell me, according to common usage in this country, what comes between a birdie and a bogey?
Ohio Wesleyan, Schaefer.
Par.
Par, that's right. 10 points. All right, Ohio Wesleyan. Some people keep goldfish, some keep hamsters. For 5 points apiece, identify the animal or animal life with which these people are principally associated. Joy Adamson.
Lions.
Lions.
Yes, lions. Gavin Maxwell. That's otters. Thomas Hunt Morgan.
T.H. Morgan. Drosselia. Fruit flies.
Yes, that's right.
flies,
Drosselia, fruit flies. Dr. John C. Lilly of the Communications Research Institute in Florida.
Alligators.
Porpoises.
Yes, bottlenose dolphins. Wolfgang Köhler.
Bees.
Right.
Bees.
No, it's chimpanzees or anthropoid apes. Carl von Frisch.
That's bees.
Say it.
Bees.
Yes, that's bees. That's right. Now I have a 20-point bonus question waiting. Here's the toss-up. When John Dos Passos writes history, he makes his characters come alive. For 10 points, what internationally famous statesman is Dos Passos describing in this passage from his book, Mr. Wilson's War? He did have a mongrel look with his high cheekbones over the great mustaches that the cartoonist...
Ohio Wesleyan, Schaefer.
Clemenceau.
Clemenceau, that's right, for 10 points. All right, Ohio Wesleyan. How is your Hootmanny IQ? We're going to play excerpts from 4 folk songs. As each excerpt ends, you sing the next 2 lines. 5 points for each one you can sing. First, this one.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor?
What shall we do with the drunken sailor lying in the
Morning. That's right. Now, listen, try the next one.
Down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry.
Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, poor boy, you're bound to die.
That's right. Now, sing the line that follows this excerpt.
Oh, don't you remember sweet Betsy from Pike?
Across the wide prairie with her husband Ike.
Her lover Ike, that's right. And finally, sing the 2 lines that, that follow this song.
It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song.
It
Takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long.
That's right, for 20 points. Very nicely done, I might add. Now you're playing for a 30-point bonus question. Here is the toss-up for 10 points. What modern piece of writing mentions the following figures: a one-eyed merchant, a hanged man, and a drowned Phoenician?
Ohio Wesleyan, Hofstra.
That's T.S. Eliot's Wasteland.
It is The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. All right, Ohio Wesleyan, for 10 points apiece. Identify the historian or social scientist who first gained fame by noting the influence of the receding frontier on American expansion.
Turner.
Yes, Frederick Jackson Turner. The influence of sea power upon history.
Mahan.
Admiral Mahan, that's right. The role of the leisure class.
Veblen.
Orson Veblen is right for 30 points. Now we have a 30. There's the whistle to end the first half, and the score is...
UCLA 30, Ohio Wesleyan University 190.
In just a moment, we'll take time out and talk with these teams. As you know, it's our custom here in the General Electric College Bowl to invite the visiting team to bring along a film of its campus. And now to tell you about the films of the University of California at Los Angeles, here's the captain of the UCLA team, Charles Silver.
Thank you, Mr. Earl. The University of California at Los Angeles opened its doors in the fall of 1929. Royce Hall was the first building completed, and along with the main library and two other principal buildings, formed the Central Campus Quad. UCLA's 22,000 students enjoy almost complete year-round sunshine. A substantial and increasing proportion of these are enrolled in graduate programs. Academically ranked among the top 12 in the United States universities, UCLA has attracted distinguished scholars from all over the world. A building revolution has taken place on the UCLA campus to keep up with its phenomenal growth. The bold social sciences building towers over the modest art structure, and the recently completed physics building provides yet another contrast and indicates the diversity of design. 3,200 students live in the four coeducational residence halls that rim the university. Students from every corner of the 411-acre campus meet at the Student Union where they can relax and enjoy any number of recreations. This is UCLA, one of the largest and most rapidly growing universities in the world.
There's a brief look at UCLA. Thank you, Charles. Now, let's find out more about this team from Ohio Wesleyan University. Bill Schaefer, 30, Ohio Wesleyan 180. Remember, teams, the next time you hear that whistle, the game is over. If it blows while I'm asking a question, I stop. If it blows while you are answering, you will be allowed to complete that one answer. But no more. All set, you're playing for a 30-point bonus question. Here is the toss-up. For 10 points. Complete this sentence with one word. If a ball player hits a high fly, the path of the ball is nearly a...
UCLA, cross.
Parabola. Parabola is right for 10 points. All right, UCLA. For 10 points apiece, identify the poets who wrote these lines, obviously influenced by ancient history. The poet who wrote, "On desperate seas long want to roam, thy hyacinth hair, thy classic face, thy naiad airs have brought me home to the glory that was Greece and the grandeur that was Rome."
Byron.
No, it was Edgar Allan Poe in To Helen. Try the next one. The poet who wrote, "Lo, all our pomp of yesterday is one with Nineveh and Tyre. Judge of the nations, spare us yet, lest we forget. Lest we forget."
Shakespeare.
No, it's Kipling in The Recessional. And finally, the poet who wrote, "Lars Porsena of Clusium, by the 9 gods he swore that the great house of Tarquin should suffer wrong no more."
Tennyson.
No, it's Macaulay in Horatius. I have a 20-point bonus question waiting now. Here's the toss-up. This is the time of year, when you are apt to hear people grumbling about taxes. For 10 points, what famous American reportedly expressed a philosophic attitude about taxes in these words? "The taxes are indeed very heavy, and if those laid by the government were the only ones, we might easily discharge them. We are taxed twice as much by our idleness, 3 times as much by our pride, and 4 times..."
Ohio Wesleyan, Schaefer.
Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, it was. Benjamin Franklin. 10 points. All right, Ohio Wesleyan. Many of the early explorers searched without success for the Northwest Passage, which would take them from the Atlantic to the Pacific. For 10 points, who wrote a book entitled Northwest Passage?
Kenneth Roberts.
Yes. For 10 points, who finally navigated the Northwest Passage from 1903 to 1906?
Peary.
No, it was Amundsen. 1 out of 2, 10 points. You're playing for a 20-pointer now. Here is the toss-up. 3 of the isms that come immediately to mind in connection with music are Romanticism, Classicism, and Impressionism. For 10 points, with which of these isms do you associate this music?
Ohio Wesleyan, Leshy.
Impressionism.
Yes, Impressionism is right. It's received on air. All right, Ohio Wesleyan, in order to be useful, heat must be carried from the device in which it is generated to the place where it's to be used. For 20 points, name the 3 ways in which heat may be transferred.
Convection, conduction, and radiation.
That's right, for 20 points. I have a 30-pointer waiting now. Here's your toss-up. From what you know of President's son, for 10 points, tell me which president's son was in close proximity to 3 presidential assassinations.
Ohio Wesleyan, Pat.
Lincoln.
Yes, it was Lincoln's son, Robert Todd Lincoln, who was close to his father's, Garfield's, and McKinley's assassinations. Here's the bonus question. The Great Seal of the United States, as you can see by looking at the back of a dollar bill, which I hope you won't do just now, includes 3 Latin phrases. 10 points each for telling me what they mean. E pluribus, all right. E pluribus unum is the first one.
From many, one.
Yes, out of many, one. Annuit septies. It means he has smiled on or approved our undertakings or beginnings. Novus ordo seculorum.
A new order of the ages.
That's right. 2 out of 3. 20 points. I have a 25-point bonus question. Here is the toss-up for 10 points. What Mexican artist painted this picture of Zapatista?
Ohio Wesleyan, left to right, Schaefer.
Diego Rivera.
No, 5 points.
UCLA, Harris.
Orozco.
Yes, Orozco, that's right, for 10 points. All right, here's your bonus question. 4 Johns were presidents of the United States. For a very quick 5 points apiece, tell us how many Catherines were reigning empress of Russia.
2.
Yes. How many Richards were king of England?
3.
That's right. How many King Charles of France?
King Charles of France. 10.
Yes. How many King James of Scotland?
6.
No, the answer is 7. How many King Leopolds of Belgium?
3.
Yes, that's right. 3. Now you're playing for a 20-pointer. Here is the toss-up. Listen. I shall not die of a cold, my son, said the old archbishop. I shall die of having lived. For 10 points, tell me the title and the author.
Ohio Wesleyan, Pat.
You just swore and death comes to the Archbishop.
No, 5-point penalty. Now
UCLA, Goldberg.
Willa Cather, death comes
Yes, death comes for the Archbishop Willa Cather. That's right, for 10 points. All right, UCLA, he laid the foundations for the first system of symbolic logic. He improved on Pascal's calculating machine. He discovered, independently of Newton, infinitesimal calculus. For 20 points.
Leibniz.
Leibniz is right, for 20 points. I have a 20-pointer waiting. Here is the toss-up for 10 points. Name the European king who is the only reigning monarch to have recently won a gold medal in the Olympics.
Ohio Wesleyan, Schaefer.
King Constantine of Greece.
It is King Constantine of Greece who won a gold medal in yachting in 1960. All right, Ohio Wesleyan, for 20 points. What 19th and 20th century English author wrote you the obscure Tess of the D'Urbervilles and Yes, Thomas Hardy, 20 points. I have another 20-pointer waiting. Here's the toss-up for 10 points. Tell me, what recently registered 8.5 on the Richter scale?
UCLA, Harris.
The Alaska earthquake.
Yes, that's right, for 10 points. And here's the bonus. Both the Englishman Adams and the Frenchman Leverrier predicted it. The German Galle discovered it. For 20 points. Name it.
Halley's Comet.
No, the answer is the planet Neptune. I have a 20-pointer waiting. Here's the toss-up. According to mythology, Scylla sat in a rock on the Italian side of the Strait of Messina.
UCLA, Harris.
No, 5-point penalty. Now repeat the entire question for Ohio Wesleyan. According to mythology, Scylla sat on a rock on the Italian. Okay, the answer is Lorelei. Let's go to another toss-up. Certain scientists of the 1800s believed that they could predict a man's personality by studying the bumps on his skull.
UCLA, Silver.
Physiognomy.
I beg your pardon?
It's called physiognomy.
No, 5-point penalty. Now repeat the entire question for Ohio Wesleyan. Certain scientists of the 1800s believed they could predict a man's personality by studying the bumps on his skull. For 10 points, what were those men called?
Ohio Wesleyan, Hofstra.
Phrenologist.
Phrenologists. It's phrenology. That's right, for 10 points. And here's the bonus question. For 20 points, in a deathbed speech, what Asian religious leader reportedly said, "Be lamps unto yourself. Be a refuge to yourselves. Look not for refuge to anyone beside yourselves."
Oh, how about Gandhi?
Mahatma Gandhi?
No, the answer is Buddha. I have another 20-pointer waiting. Here is the toss-up. The man who wrote La Chartreuse de Parme also wrote Le Rouge.
UCLA, Harris.
Stendhal.
That's right. 10 points, and here's the bonus. This French painter was attracted by primitive art, was strongly influenced by Japanese prints, rejected certain
Gauguin.
aspects. Yes, Gauguin is right for 20 points. I have another 20-pointer waiting. Here is the toss-up. The equator passes through 3 South American countries. 10 points if you can name all.
Ohio Wesleyan, Schaefer.
Ecuador, Peru, and Brazil.
No, 5-point penalty. I hadn't finished reading the question. I'll repeat it for UCLA. The equator passes through 3 South American countries. 10 points if you can name all 3 of these countries. No. Conference, Brazil, Colombia, and Ecuador. Let's go to another toss-up. He was James I's father And Mary Queen of...
UCLA silver.
James V.
No, 5-point penalty. Now repeat the entire question for Ohio Wesleyan.
Ohio Wesleyan, Schaefer.
Earl Bothwell.
No. The answer is Darnley. Let's go to another toss-up. Medusa was his mom. Bellerophon was his companion for 10 points. Who was he? No, the answer is Pegasus. That's it. Time's up. The game is over. We'll validate the final score, and in a moment announce the winner and award the scholarship grant. It's official. The final score today is UCLA 125, Ohio Wesleyan 285. Ohio Wesleyan is the winner. And for carrying home the honors today, Ohio Wesleyan University will receive a $1,500 scholarship grant from the General Electric Company. And to UCLA goes General Electric's $500 scholarship grant. And teams, to all 8 of you varsity scholars, another fine contest. Once again, the...